This meeting is being recorded.
Yep. Wait. Yep.
Yay. Welcome back here again. Oh, we do have a back-to-back event, but it's just taking longer time to have a break of that energy. So yeah. So we're stepping into Goddesses series. So this is Goddesses series. So every single month we will be journey as archetype in the different goddesses. So the goddesses that today that which is very in alignment, I have no idea that this will be. It's always like this, right? Is the Inner Muse, of course. Look at that. I know that Carl can share a lot about the muses of himself. You already seen all the painting, drawing, creativities. I'm just gonna be shut up. He will take over in a minute. But I wanted to bring into what is this Inner Muse or the muse of the goddesses, right? So when we bring into the goddesses series like this, I would love everybody to reflect on your own journey, on yourself. How do we actually using this energy to journey and to enlighten our life, enlighten what we're doing, and to bring in that to like a leap, excited leap or flow, or sometimes it can be a problem solving of yourself as well, because sometimes we in that stuck moment and don't know where to go or lost. But when we step into the goddess's journey, is literally will be he or she. My cat is meowing. So he or she God and goddesses will be actually coming and bringing that energy. And if you feel into the energy, you will be inspired. So in that inspiration mode, you'll become creative. So Muse is the path of creativity and spontaneous. So what does that really mean? So I can be really easy, like, because I love this Inner Muse of myself. It's just that whenever I walk outside in the nature and you receive something, oh, like you all like, for me, it's just like joining the dot. Because the divine messages is in front of you, or divine calling, sometimes I hear things and it's just like, oh, it's coming. So you in the knowing actually really heightened, intuition also very heightened, because that is the divine, it's like a truth is there. So for you to tap in at that moment by moment, and when you tap into the divine grace, divine messages, or divine synchronicity, whatever you call that, you know that magic is there. So bringing into I inspired in this Inner Muse. So I will be handing the mic to Kyle for him to share with us how he inspired people when you receive, and also they're being inspired by other people too. So I remember Rosa asked you a question, Kyle. What do you do? How do you do? You're always in your joy. Creativity is equal to joy. I know that when we dive into every single word, it's like, what do you mean? Creativity is creativity, joy is joy. But feel into that frequency, bubbling, tingling of the creativity and joy. And I know that, Carl, you are all that. So yeah, handing mic over to you, and then I will share mine. And again, we will be doing some activities in here because it's really cool. I was driving in the morning. I was like, what am I gonna do in this? And it just sparks again. This is the way. It's the muse way. It's the musing way. Because when you're in the play mode, when you like nothing, right? Like nothing in your mind, but you're just in the play mode. I really wanted to play in this moment. And then the message will come, the symbol will come, you will see, you hear, you touch with feel and sense. Over to you.
So much beautiful beauty. Mm. Yeah, just receiving so much. Just calling in the highest of the highest and the purest of the purest frequency should just be with us in like a bubble. So for me, it all starts with movement. So for me, it's like, okay, when I'm like walking to nature, or like when I'm like dancing, just having that intention of just connecting with my heart and like the creative spirit within. So it's like the movement of the body starts getting everything flowing, like the heart pumping, like the cells, like just like joining together as one. It's like this partnership. And when I walk, it's like within 20, it's usually everything is usually within 20 minutes. 20 minutes of like playing, listening to music, creating, walking, dancing. It's not like when you're all of a sudden it's like this euphoria, you become one with this euphoria, this bliss, like sensuality of the self, of the energy, of like the intimacy of the energy. And it's very like organic, real, raw. It's like no expectation, but it's like that feeling within you where it's just it's like you're meeting the life force within you in a very intimate way of like healing, expressing, creating. Um, as like being in my creative self, like if I'm feeling in like a funk or too much of this world, it's like, okay, it's time for me to play, or time for me to draw, time for me to create, to dance, to listen to a song, to be inspired. And it helps me in like being fearless, stepping out of my comfort zone. Like yesterday is a perfect example. So with the solstice, I was like, okay, this is like time of rebirth of my fire self, my heart of just completely a new chapter. And so I was just like in just working on my tan, and I'm like, okay, just receiving, and like I fell asleep and just could feel the deep peace within. And I could just feel that connection with nature. It's like the activation within my body, like on top of my body, like my skin and within my body. So then I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, I'm gonna paint my face. So I had like music playing, and I feel the music through my heart and through my being, like through goosies, and that like it electrifies like inspiration and just like flowing energy. So I was like painting my face and just was in the moment, and it was like creating a life of its own. It was like making love to like the creativity from my heart, like from my body was receiving it, of like what was being reflected back, of like seeing what's in the mirror. So it's funny now, it all makes sense because when I was putting like these dots, like star energy on my face, it literally connects to um, the container before this container of like the dotting, like the connection. So it's like literally now it's like connecting creativity um, with my brain, like which literally is like fully integrated, like as I speak. But it's like when I was painting on my face, my brain was receiving it, and in turn, it was traveling down, like through my chakras, my spine to my heart, and then it was like feeding my heart, and like that yeah, it's like food, like soul food of creativity. Like feeding the brain, the heart, like the whole body. So then I was like, okay. Then I'm like, I want to step out of my comfort zone and just be fearless. So I'm like, I'm gonna just go out in the real world. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna just see what happens. So I had my guides with me, and I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's be fearless and just like walk to the park, which was like 20 minutes away. And I had to walk down this huge busy road. And I'm like, okay, I can do it. I can do it. So I'm like thinking of all these things of what I was going to say if someone asked me, why is your face like that, like painted? And I'm like, okay, I was going through all this thing. I'm like, okay, well, I could say like I'm going to a party, theater, part of my portfolio, doing a video, like part of Cirque du Soleil, like all this stuff. I was like over analyzing, like, so I'm like, no, I just was receiving that, and then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like walk. So I was walking, and like it was so peaceful, and I was receiving so many like downloads from my guides. I'm like, Kyle, yes, 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 we're proud of you. Like the elementals, the fairies are like, yes, Kyle, we celebrate you. Yes, like express yourself, right? And so when I was walking, once I hit the forest, like nature, like the naturescape, it was like this bliss, like red-winged blackbird bird greeted me, and I was just like, yes, okay, I'm being like, I feel like, yeah, nature's receiving me, like my new self, like my essences and my aspects and all of that. And I could walk in, I was smelling cotton candy, and I'm like, yay, the cotton candy tree is here. I'm just like, yes, celebrating, celebrating. And then I was just seeing like different things in nature that I haven't seen before. And I'm like, okay, okay. And then I'm like, then I was feeling really good. And then I'm like, okay, let's go right to like the heart of the forest, like the core of the forest, like my forest that I love. So I like hit the trail, and I'm like, there's this huge like, I made it, like euphoria, like, okay. I'm like basically me fully in the forest. So it was just me in the forest. There was no one around. I was just like so like elated, and I'm just like, yes, just touching like the leaves and just like touching the bark of the tree. I'm just like, yes, I love you. And like the willow tree, and I'm just like just loving you up, and nature is like loving me up. And then I did like I did the live within like the GOTC, and I'm just like experiencing what I went through, and I'm just like, yeah, it's just celebrating. Like it was like this whole like body orgasmic feeling of like creativity, of just like when you allow yourself to just let that creativity to flow through you, because creativity is very intuitive, which is like really like the feminine energy. You're inviting that feminine flow like with me into like that masculine container to hold it. So it's like that loving energy is just like loving you up and just like making love to you. It's like you know, all the way through, and that is just like, yes. And then I just like receive. I was receiving like so many messages. I was just like, I couldn't get enough, and like getting like I was just like typing fast, because like when I receive, I just like type in my phone. Just like I need to just like put it down, right? Like I just need to like write it down. So then I dancing, and I was like, yeah, this is like the flow, and I literally, so I was like, I mean, I had like the face paint on, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like just take my glasses off and just like walk into nature, but like, not knowing like seeing everything, because not being able to like fully see everything, but it was like moving through nature, the feeling. It was really cool experience. I've never done that before, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna just like flow with it. So I like I spent a lot of time without my glasses and was just like going with like where my heart was guiding me or where my body was guiding me. It was a really, really cool experience. I'm gonna definitely do that more often. And then so yeah, I was just like touching nature, the leaves, like fully feeling it, and being like one with it. And yeah, I'm just taking myself through like the forest right now of like bringing through like all that healing. Yeah, so I was just like walking. Oh yeah, and then like the sun rays. So it was just like it was like in between realms, but very grounded. It was like seeing like the sun rays after, like on my phone, and I was like, whoa. I was like, I felt like I wanted to cry, but not in sadness. It was like in joy. Like my heart felt so uplifted and so peaceful, and like especially being empath, I wasn't feeling anyone's stuff. You're just feeling that like the pure love of nature, and I'm like, yes, yes, yes. This is exactly what like I've been wanting to feel, and just allowing it to flow without any expectation. And then I allowed myself to empty, to just receive even more, like a new page, like a new perspective. And yeah, it was just so much more inspiration. And yeah, and then yeah, I was walking back the same way out of the forest, and it was like boom, 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 like right away. It was like I received like the sunflowers were all there, and then um, there's like yellow flowers, birds. Oh, there was so much that was going on, but it was like consistently. It was like consistent gifts within nature, and I'm like, okay, I fully receive it. But yes, definitely connecting with the muses is like what I love to do. It's like my specialty. Like I honestly, like honestly, if you didn't mention the muses, like it's like I kind of keep that within me, like kind of secret within me, because it's like how do you express it? How do you explain it? Like it's all through like the feeling. It's like I feel like there's so much that I keep within and like to myself too of like no what brings fulfillment to me, and I think part of me sometimes gets scared with sharing because it's like um it's like you have those little thoughts of like, okay, like what will people like think or feel or say? Whereas like I kind of had that yesterday of like when I was walking in nature, I'm like, what are people gonna say? Or like what are they thinking or feeling with like seeing my face painted, like as like my elven self. And like no one said anything. Like it was just peaceful. Like it was just like it was like really good feeling. Like I just like safe. So it's like that remembrance and that message of like knowing that it's safe to be like creative and to express yourself. And when it's from the depths of your heart and in that purity, to know that like you're taken care of, and we come with those good intentions from within, like it's reflected back to you, and like how others treat you, perceive you. So when things are created from that heart and rather that pure love, only pure love is going to be reflected back to you. Um, yeah, it's like this is where your medicine is tuning into your muses. You just have to tune into the love energy of it, and all will be revealed. It's not specifically connecting to like one muse or like what the muse is. It's like all as a whole, all as a community, all as a network. It's like you first create and then you receive. But it's like very organic, like how nature is. Like it's like going back to the mushroom. It's like when like one mushroom pops up, it's like a whole community. They're like all as one. Like you always see mushrooms together. They're not like singularly, right? I mean, as with nature, nothing's really singularly in nature. Everything is as a whole. Like the roots of a tree, it's all interconnected, right? Like underneath the soil, it's like a whole another world, but it's that connectivity. But then you see like blades of grass and they're all together, right? You see flowers. There's not like one just flower here, one flower there. They're all like together in like harmony. So it's like what we are is to come back to that remembrance of like the harmony of nature that we are within and the harmony that we are with each other. And just bringing more of that harmony to our daily lives and to how we talk to the world in the heart space. It's like leading with the heart is all we need. And that love and like coming back to our truth, our remembrance. But it's like remembrance is a feeling um, first. It's the feeling within the heart. And then you receive from that feeling, and you just allow it to organically flow. Um, yeah, the muses want like us to be organic, natural, like no constraints, no restrictedness, um, because they're not restricted themselves. Like they're one with everything, and they just love everything and everyone. It's for us to do the same, right? Just inspiring each other and supporting each other and inspiring each other's creativity and igniting each other's creativity as our creativity is healing for ourselves, others in the world. But it's like like we're like a living canvas within ourselves. It's just like allowing yourself to express yourself, like your heart, like as that canvas. Like what are you gonna create on your canvas of kind of like how your creation in that love. Um, yeah, and just allowing that healing to flow through you from like your inner muses. But once you ignite the heart and you allow the heart to, I think the heart is the key first and foremost of knowing what it feels like to connect with the heart, to allow the heart to soften, to flow, to melt, to open. And then when you give attention to the heart each and every day, and even putting your hands on your heart in the morning, throughout the day, at night, in your sacred space, it's like you're bringing that feeling that you're bringing your heart back to life. And you allow the heart to speak and to feel. It's a very organic process. It takes time, just not to rush it, but just trusting in the feeling, trusting your heart, trusting yourself, trusting what you're receiving, and flow with it. And your heart is your medicine. Yourself, like healing, and then it's the petals of a flower. It just opens like more and more and more. Like each moment, each day, like it's not forceful. It's very natural, just as like how nature is. it's not rushed, but yet everything is accomplished. Like how that quote is, like nature doesn't rush, yet everything is accomplished. It's so true though. Yeah. Knowing how precious you are. Like the gem that you are. Allowing yourself to transform into that diamond, into your brilliance, into your magnificence. But only you can do it. No one else can do it for you. But others can encourage you and hold space for you and support you. But it's up to you. And the more that you just take that time to get to know you and yourself fully, deeply, it's the greatest gift that you can give to yourself. And it's coming back home to your heart, to your body, to who you truly are. That is the greatest self-love, the greatest self-respect, the greatest honoring. And in doing so, you do so much service, heart service to yourself, others in the world. Yeah, so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for receiving me. And just setting the intention now of like activating our muses within us fully and completely. So just bringing my light language to help in reigniting your passion, your purpose, your heart's calling, your creativity, your magnificence, that remembrance, just bringing it back to you fully and completely, integrating to the here and now. To see sana, to see sana, to see sana, to see sana. It's like rebirth of the flower that you are, the gardens of yourself. Tuna tiana tusia na tusi saina tusana tusia tuna tusaya tusaya to see everything in harmony, into balance, groundedness, centeredness, integrating to the here and now. Taking 3 deep breaths, anchoring it through your brain, your heart, your core, your feet, all throughout your being, and anchoring to the earth, and allowing your gifts and the gift of yourself to flourish with the world, with the earth, with nature, all as one, in the pure love that you are. Mm. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mm. Thank you, Muses, for being with us today. Mm. How beautiful. Mm.
Thank you, Kyle. So beautiful. I was with you. So I like to
I
bring,
know I can. Yeah.
I like to bring two things a lot more standing out. I know that you have touched a lot of things, just two things. One is it is important for us to consciously knowing that what are we feeding in our heart. So yeah. So from when if we feed our heart in joy, right, we will be in joy. Enjoy and enjoy. So yeah.
Mhm.
So feeding consciously knowing that what you're going to feed from your heart today. And also do not forget creative process, because that process is the one that actually nourish you.
Mhm.
It's the process. So yeah. I think that is all I need to say. I think I've already mentioned, say a lot of things that I was, to written down here, like a few of the wording that I wanted to express, but I just all been, yeah, you have already. Oh, I think that I have something I wanted to share too is, of course, right? Like what you are sharing is all about the light of the muse. So what is the shadow of the muse?
Mm.
Mm.
Like not creating,
Mhm.
not expressing, as I know that all too well
Mm.
too. As in, like shutting everything down, turning it off, which doesn't do any good
Yeah,
at all.
like
Um,
serious, and also like you don't know how to focus and focus on different things, or like when you start a project, right? You get so excited to start, and then it is incomplete. It's the shadow of the muse, and also that
And also that
you do not know how to play. That's the shadow of it. Mm. So that's, I definitely know how that feel, and also that you feel scattered all around, very scattered and feeling bored, impatient, not inspired. You can't find the meaning of playing. Mm. So I had this inner knowing of 3 years ago when I had the spiritual awakening, right? I was joining one of the group. I mean, the group is very gentle. It's that every morning, every Monday morning is like you have to share something in the group. You have to share something that you're playing, right? And I have my mind squeezed, my brain squeezing. What do I show? I don't listen to music at all. I don't dance. I don't do a lot of things. I was like, oh my God, I don't do a lot. And what do I do? What do I do? Nothing. I literally just work. I know how to work. I know how to play. So I was like, my mind like blossoming. Oh my God, like that part of playing, it just never exists from childhood. And I was like, that bringing to, I was like, okay, because when you do not know how to play, you don't know how to start. Because a lot of things that I don't do, I don't, and then you sort of like frozen. So I went to childcare, right? I drop off the babies, and then I was there when I pick up the kids, the babies, and then 4 o'clock. Normally I pick up like half an hour. I will like talking to the carer and all of that. I was like, why these kids, they don't want to play? Just like other people playing, but other kids are not playing, which is the same age. And the carer talked to me. It just said, oh, sometimes they just don't play. They just sit there and look. And my mind, ding, 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 ding. Because the children, the age of like 4 and 5, they have no one to play with at home. They do not know how to play. At home, only grandparents. They're looking after the kids. They only know like eat, sleep, pool, wee. That's it. Watch TV, watch iPad, or play games. I was like, wow, the kids do not know how to play. What do? It reflects to myself. Can you see that impact is so big? Like I was like, I also don't know how to play. I also sit there and look at other people, like in the group. I look at the people. I also look. It's the same thing. Oh, it actually started from my childhood, because I didn't know where that come from. I was like, it's actually start from my childhood, and I started to obviously go back to the timeline. The age is like, what did I do at that age? Which is I do my own inner child healing. Like I never done last time. I never done it, right? I was like, oh, tuition, and tuition. That's all. And then the more that you do like this, your body forgot everything about fun, everything about play. It's just like the cell become like, it's supposed to be growing and blossoming flowers, right? And growing root and all of that beautiful blossoming. It's just dying. Even though the cell pores is closing up and cemented. This is what I see, cemented. And then you become like, sit there and serve in obedience. Just look. I was like, oh my God, this is not right. Like in a way that I need to start to move. I need to start to know how to play. And I did. It's very hard. So I start to play music. I couldn't find any music can spark me. Okay, stop about the music. I said maybe dancing and moving my body. So when I look at the people, I feel that my soul is dancing. But this physical body is like a rock, like a wood. It's just sitting there not moving. And then I was like, okay, move left and right, left and right. And then I realized that, okay, the first 2 weeks, probably, yes, I did it, right? And the third week, guess what? Straight away, go inwards. It's like, shield even further back, right? You walk 2 steps up, you go back 3 or 5 steps backwards, and completely shield. And then you take another 4 weeks for you to get out. So that dancing of run, go back, go front. It's literally like dancing, right? And then I was like, I can't do this. I need to break through, just like how you say it, Kai, just like when you're painting your face, you're talking about it's reason. You're talking a lot, right? Like no one even care about, right? But you're just giving so much. Like I'm the same too. Like why people think that what if, right? Like at the end, yes, you didn't, but I was like, I'd retract myself back. So yeah, so I did a breakthrough that one of my mentors, she create an event. And I was like, you know what? I want a slot because she was calling who wanted to slot in, and then we become an event. And I said, I want half an hour, only half an hour, and I danced. And I danced in that event because I was like, we need to move the body. And I share my story about I'm not moving the body. And I started to move body, even though it's so rigid. I was like, no, what am I doing? But it's the encouragement for myself. I don't even care what people are talking about. So yeah. So that is something that I love myself, that first time actually dance online. Like nobody really know who I am. It's okay. Nobody know who Lillian is. Like I literally nobody, right? Like that is the safe part. When people don't know who are you, just like when you say you have growing on the face, nobody know who are you, Carl. Just go. There's like no fear straight away. It's just, oh yeah, nobody know who I am. It's not like asking you to go back to your high school, like your reunion, or that would be scary. It's just like nobody in the park that know you. So I was like, nobody know me. I just danced for half an hour, but that half an hour is so bloody long. It's really long. But yeah, but I did not even go back and look at myself. I did not. But you know what? It's done. That is the most important thing. So yeah. So that is the encouragement that I had it. And I feel so good. I feel so good. So yeah, so that is the creativity process of that. The joy, and you feeling your heart be courageous and brave. And it just leap. This is the leaping. I love that. So yeah. So this is the leaping that I don't even care what people say, because this is my journey. This is mine. I'm just wanted to build my own strength up, or maybe just grow a thickness on my face skin. So yeah. So I just did that. So this is like self-limiting belief that you do yourself. You know how much that if people want to, just like you say, you have to do yourself. It's just like, come on, Carl, you can do it. Come on. It's not going to do anything. It's not. You have to do it yourself. That's called a breakthrough moment. So yeah. So that is my story of the play of the shadow, that I know how the shadow work really strongly as well. But I know that people around me have no play issues. So yeah, but the only thing that the play issue is to incomplete projects a lot, because the procrastination coming in a lot as well in this play, because I like the hip of it, just like joy of that. And then when that die down in a way that you don't have that all the time, right? It's not like you're on the drugs. But you do, that is the sparks of, that's what the muse is like. When you create, when you have that muse and that creativity flow coming in, you grab that and then anchor it to your project. That is the magic you receive from the divine, and you create it. You still have to have action to create it for that joy space. And from there, that's all that's all you get. That's all then you know that this is magic. So when you feel again, this feeling will always come back. So you know that this is a creative area. So yeah. But if you know, we all know that when we're not creative, we just sit down there and watch TV. But we need to know that how to cultivate that muse feeling, because it's always in us, it's around us too. Just like you go to nature, you know, the fairies, you hear them, the wind told you. Like for me, it's also nature as well. So it's like a lot of surrendering. And I love that my thing is always the synchronicity, and I just connect, and it's boom, it's happening. So yeah, sometimes I sit down and say, what am I going to be produced, or what am I going to be doing this in the event, let's say, it's always like nothing coming out for me. And sometimes I'll also forgot that the event is on today. Not today, I planned today. I was like, oh, this today? I haven't prepared yet. But when we're going to go to the park and walk around the field and walk, it's just calling in when you see things, I can talk about this. So that is my sharing for my own self as shadow part of self, because I know that Carly, you already talked about the light. So I'm talking about the shadow part. So now we're going to bring into some activities. The play. This is a very simple play, but it is very, very powerful. It's super powerful because I wrote down very quickly just now when we were talking, this activity will give you a greater sense, the strength and the purpose of what you're doing. Because sometimes when we do things right, it's just like, I do it because I just feel like it. But when we go back and revisit them, you will see a different lenses because the mood may be different, your receiving may be different, right? So yeah. And also that you bring into, how do you bring into the gratitude or beautitude? So this word that I use, gratitude, beauty and gratitude is beautitude, and then hard and gratitude is heartitude.
I love it.
So just sort of like more into all of these beautiful words. And I'm not talking about to make the word beautiful, because when you hear that word, you feel that frequency in your heart. So we're feeding the heart with beautiful word, beautiful frequency, that uplifting. So yeah. So when you talk about the brain, I just also wanted to bring into the brain here to how the brain works. So when the brain feel good, it's feeding the emotion to your amygdala. So when your amygdala, I feel good, so you see, yes, you do more. And then you go feed into your brain, the front patch, right? The front part of frontal of your brain is action. Yes, I wanted to do more. And then it's like, oh, yes. And then your yes, feed to your emotion. You continue the loop. Yes. And you feel like, whew. So yeah. So that is how the brain works. If you have the brain works that, I don't know what other people say. Yeah, I know, right? It's like so embarrassing. Like your brain will self-talk yourself. If feed to amygdala that emotion, if feeding that whatever that hormone coming out, it's like, you're gonna be embarrassing. You know what? And then you started to remember because your brain remember. Remember the last time you did that? Oh my God, it's just like people laugh at you. And then you feed to your mantra, no, don't do it. Do not do it. And then you feel, oh yes, feeling safe now, I don't do it. So everything is just a feeding. Can you see here? When you're feeding your brain not doing it, it literally shut. The brain is talking a lot of emotion and bringing into that just nervous system literally. So yeah. So are you ready, Kyle? And also that those who do the replay and watching here for live, you can do that too. So give me a number. Don't give me like 100, okay? Give me a number. Huh?
4.
4? Okay. Go to your album and go back for the 4th photos. I also wanted to see what's on my 4 photos. And then I want you to see what does these photos represent? That's the first question. The second thing is that why it is meaningful. And as I said, bring into a greater sense of purpose, greater sense of like strength, or more gratitude, beautitude, or heartitude. So number 4, right? Let me go to number 4. You know what? 4 is so close that because, when you take one photo, you would take 1, 2, 3, 4 photos. Yeah. Oh, I know my number 4 is.
Ooh, that's funny. Like, you mean on social media or a
No,
photo?
on your phone.
Oh.
Yeah. So number 4 is quite tricky, as I said, because when you click, let's say when you take photo of the plant, right? You might take like 6 photos of the same plant.
That's what I do.
Yeah. So do you want to give another number? Just a little bit, maybe giving a little bit bigger number, or 4 is okay as well. It's up to you.
16.
Okay. You know what? I have 16 in my mind too.
It's funny because I'll tell you what my number 4 image was. So my number 4 image was yeah, Kentucky cake I took a picture of. Um, as in, like honoring that moment in the fairies. Yeah, so cool. That's just so cool how it just popped up.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love it. And then like there's a little smiley face in the cake. It's like just like being in the joy, playing, celebrating, having fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So are you like looking at the number 16?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a photo of me when I was in nature yesterday,
Mm.
and it has like the sun rays with
Mm-hmm.
like the rainbow colors.
Mm-hmm.
It's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Is there any deeper
How about
meaning when you see into that? So you're just asking yourself, because I know that sometimes we take our photos and then we post our photo or we share our photos. And then when we look back at the moment of the gratitude, and what is that deeper meaning to you? So yeah.
mm, um it's like the beauty of like an illuminated open heart.
Mm. Yeah.
Hmm. It's like hearing the message, yes, Kyle, you did it. Like open your heart again.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will share this as well in the group as well, to ask people to post number 16 photos and just a couple of questions so that we just can, play, and we also inspire each
Mhm.
other as well by, bouncing the conversation too. So yeah. Mm. So yeah, my number
Mm.
16 is the photo for this morning as I was taken on the field as per last night of my heart crack open once again. So that when I look at myself is the vulnerability of the face that I was looking at myself, as that face shows a lot of vulnerability, but also the strength within.
Mm. So true.
Mm. Oh, that is it. It's so it's just so easy. Mm. Do you like that?
Yeah, I love it.
Mm.
Celebrate the magical create that you.
All right. So I think that, do you have anything more to add before we conclude today?
No, it was
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's so we share a lot, isn't it? We share a lot. So yes. Mm. Creativity is a joy. Creativity is a love. And also feeling healthier, happier.
Mhm.
That is 100% of my experience. So yeah. So thank you so much today for showing up, Kyle, and other people that you did a replay as well. Thank you for listening in. That is Goddesses series will bring you more inspiration, and I shall see you next month. Thank you so much.
Peace.